What's up, y'all? All right, I don't. We can give this streaming stuff its first go. So let's see here. We gonna just kind of have some fun with this. Microphones coming in. Audio check. The background music check. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Yeah, this is nice here. All right, we're gonna get this started with some Heinrich Kemmler. Have some concept art here I want to just kind of pull from. Okay. See if I can find this here. All right. Okay, 1 minute. 1 minute. All right, this is what we're going to be using as our concept art. I'm going to just pull this to the side. This is going to be our. That's going to be what we use. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with this. I haven't drawn in a long time, but my computer is in the shop, so unfortunately, that means all we got to do is use my backup PC, which can't handle the game, to go ahead and yeah, get my draw on. Lower this a little bit here. Let's see, just kind of first time doing this, so just setting up my settings. Okay. All right, all right. Stand by. Okay. Okay, we're just gonna roll with this. We'll diagnose it later. Right now we got to get into drawing mode. All right, let's do this. Okay. All right, so we're gonna get this started here. I'm gonna add a layer. All right, so we got to think about how we want this to come out. Let me see. Hmm. Yeah, this will be a good size here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and make this first layer here. This is just going to kind of be our skeleton layer. And we'll go ahead and just set this up. This light blue is kind of nice. All right, where are we at here? Okay, cool. And let's see. It's a little dark there for me. Maybe something like this. Yeah, okay, this will do. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and get this started. All right. So I do have my concept art pulled up here on my other screen. Or at least this is a screenshot from. Oops. Stand by. Okay, let's just do this. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so Mr. Kemmler. All right, let's do it. Okay, so let's see here. Let's think about his position. I kind of want to make it to where it's almost like he's gonna be raising some undead by him. So maybe something like, actually, you know what? I think we should almost like flip this canvas, to be honest. Rotate. Yeah, let's flip this canvas. We're gonna flip this canvas. And let's zoom out just a little bit more. Okay, I think this is good here. All right, let's get this started. Okay, so back at it. Go and switch over to our little paintbrush here. This is gonna be our kind of our concept phase. So we'll do something like, just kind of getting a rough outline. I'm also got to get used to digital drawing again. I haven't done this in a bit. Just gotta see where we're at with this. Oh my god, this pen should be calibrated a little bit better, I think, actually. Okay. I think maybe just to start, we'll do, kind of got this going on. Rough outline, rough outline. Actually might make this a little bit darker so the people at home can see it. Oops. A little bit darker here. Oh yeah, this is gonna be rough. We'll get it though, we'll get it. Okay, this dude's got, where do we go here? Okay. So let's see, this guy's got some, he's got his head, and then he's got some skulls here on him too. Got some like little, getting really, really rough on this outline here. I mean, well, we might just scrap this too, but we at least gonna at least warm up a little bit on this. And this is a little, he's got like some like goat skulls on him. Okay, this kind of comes down into like a pendant. I don't really have too much detail on what his robe looks like, but go ahead and do that. So he's actually got a skull here. Of course, he's got another skull. Yeah, I definitely needed to, I think, calibrate this a little bit. I haven't used this in a bit, this device. So it might just be a little, it's not really registering exactly where I'm at, making it a little difficult. But it's alright, we can go ahead and still kind of get started here. Okay. How far we got down here? Okay. So from here now, let's see, this is kind of where this ends here. This is gonna be really rough, so we just gonna kind of practice. I haven't drawn in a long time. Let's see, it's kind of being a little funky on this, registering where I'm at. It's good though, just getting a rough outline. Let's see here, got his hand down this way coming out. And he's got his staff, of course. Bring his hand right here. Yeah. Man, okay. These straight lines are gonna be the end of me right now. Okay, we gotta include the guy's hat. This dude's got a hat and a half, so let's see here. Kind of comes down just like a bucket. It's actually got a pretty flat rim coming across this way. Oh man, this is straight elementary school status, bud. But practice makes perfect, bro. We'll get better. We will get better. We shall overcome. Okay, and this guy's got a fat brim actually, so it even goes down like this. Okay. Bring these kind of skulls up a little bit more. Rough outline, rough outline. Then this kind of comes down. This kind of comes down where his neck is. This is kind of where his neck part is. He's got really just a really defined beard in here too. This kind of comes down from his jaw. I think it's kind of his face line right here, straight on. Let's see here. Then this guy kind of got a little beard right here. It's gonna turn out so amazing. We need more beard. We need more beard. And he's got these actually like, he's got like this hair that just kind of comes down here like this too. His hair is actually kind of coming down a little bit into here. I mean, you can kind of see the dude. You can kind of see the dude. Okay. This guy's got some super defined eyebrows too. What you can kind of do is even just zoom in on his. Oh. Pardon that. I was listening to some in the background music. Getting a little bit closer on this here. Okay. So we're kind of getting into the facial features a little bit more. Again, just making some rough outlines. This is going to be the bottom layer. Got a super pronounced little squint there. This is going to be his eyebrows up in here. So really at this point I'm kind of just practicing my lines. This is all likely to change, but kind of just get in there a little bit more. Okay. Let's get some lines I can kind of trace back through later on. Okay, this guy's got kind of a nice little like goatee rocking. Let's see, he's just always Mr. Frowny Face over here. He's got some super defined kind of lines here. He's just an old man. He's an old necro, you know? Let's look at something going on here, like a little bridge under his mouth, and his mouth kind of comes up like this. Okay, it's not looking too bad. It's not looking too bad, Heinrich. Okay. Zooming in kind of helped out a little bit. You got this man's hair. Get this man's hair. So I do have kind of a piece of character art from him over on my other monitor. It's kind of what I'm referencing here. See me kind of look over there from time to time. It's kind of coming in a little bit, This is really just keeping it rough though, keeping it light. It's kind of, not getting stuck on parts. Okay, it's not looking too shabby. Okay, then what we can kind of do here, well, I won't start erasing things yet, but got a pretty pointy hat. I just feel like I need to maybe even just move this down a little bit further. Just get that complete point in there. I think he's got like something on his hat too. It almost feels like I need to make it a little bit more skinny. A little bit more skinny up in here. Thins out a little bit more. And actually, just for visual, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of erase this part here. Just get his head out of it. I wouldn't really do that at this stage. It's not really about erasing, it's just getting lines down, but you gotta show the head. And then also I just want to kind of erase this in here because this kind of breaks up his beard to his hair. Cool, cool. Alright. Getting back into it. Getting back into this drawing stuff. Alright, so this is good here. I feel like his hat kind of brims out like a lot more. Kind of like comes out even more like that. Yeah, and then it kind of comes down into this area. It's even more so. It's fatty wizard hat. Okay, then this kind of, oops. Kind of has this part here, and he does have a little band across this way, across this way. Let's make it like this. It's gonna be cool later on to just, see how this started and how it turned out. Maybe give this like an hour or so. We're at like that 19-minute mark here. The 20-minute mark. Okay, so we got his brim, we got his hat kind of rocking a little bit more. We got some, usually don't really kind of get into the eyes too soon, but we can kind of just get him a little bit of tech, little. He's old man. Then let's see here. When you really start putting those eyes in, that's when it gets a little real. Okay. Come on now, come on. Okay, little something like that. Something like that. Yeah. Let's tell you what, you spend a lot of time on the eyes, which you can tell the importance of it. We'll get back into that a little bit later, though. Okay, so let's see here. This guy, actually, his hair looks a little bit longer than his beard. So we'll kind of have this come out a little bit longer than that. Kind of make sure that this looks a little bit more natural here as well, too. Again, just kind of putting in these hard lines, one thing we can probably do as well. Kind of get this rocking down here. All right. So this is kind of just a, kind of a black area in here. We'll kind of just keep as that. And this is something we can actually kind of fill in as well too. I feel like the pen's a little bit more calibrated, or maybe I just am more calibrated. But yeah, we're getting it. We getting it. Getting it in. Okay. Okay. Okay, I don't want to spend too much time on getting way too detailed into this. Really just kind of getting this initial body parts down. I feel like kind of need to work a little bit more on his he's got these skulls over here. So this actually kind of comes out a little bit more. This gives him a little bit more, shoulder space. He's got a little bit more shoulder over here we need to compensate for. I kind of just went straight into the ram skulls that he's got. Looks like these are going to then look a little bit like, we start from here. It kind of has this section here where it's, again, I don't want to get too into the detail. What I will do though is I will remove these eyes, because that's going to kind of throw me off of my placement. But it's skulls, so we'll go ahead and just do this. Okay, let's see here. Okay, I don't really know why that's doing that. Okay, and then let's see what kind of skulls kind of come up like this. And then we kind of just want to be flowing a little bit more, nothing too crazy, but it's got a little nostril here. It's like the kind of the peak of the peak of it. Then yeah, let's do this. Kind of comes around like this. It's definitely gonna have to get reworked a little bit, and then it's actually got a part. I should maybe have worked from this side first, because I can always just extend that. So this comes down a little bit like this, and this is actually gonna be a lot longer. So probably gonna be more a little bit like this. See how we're already looking a little bit more like an animal. Okay, and this actually kind of comes down a little bit more too. Okay, but this is where that horn is, so he's kind of got like shaved off horns, but this distinction line there is going to be really important. Okay, and this is kind of, kind of comes down like this. This is going to be one of the eye sockets on that side, like this. Cool. This one here will then be the eye socket for this side. Yeah, I feel like even just kind of zooming in has helped out a lot too. Kind of work on that way. Kind of just make this a little bit more natural. More natural. Just a little bit. Spend the entire rest of the hour on this. Okay. Something like that. Okay. Cool. I mean, we'll get into this a little bit later. We don't need to do this too much. No. Really, I don't really want to be, spending too much time on these. These lines are kind of just going to be my reference lines when I get into the next layer and start kind of lining this out a little bit more. So I don't really want to get too stuck on trying to make these perfect, but we definitely want to just make sure that everything's kind of accounted for. So this is going to be one of the skulls here, and it does look like it has kind of a little bit of shading here too. We'll kind of just make sure to incorporate, because it's got that bridge of the nose. Again, we'll kind of spend the next time, on the outlining part on this, and for that, I'll try to do it just kind of a little bit more straight lines, or just one-offs, than kind of doing a lot of the sketching I'm doing right now. Let's go ahead and go back to my reference art. Okay. We'll just kind of put some hairs in here and just kind of balance that out so it doesn't look like it's standing out so much. Alright, so one thing I'm noticing is this kind of this line here actually does kind of come out a little bit more. It doesn't really slope in as soon as I had it. Kind of forms out a little bit more down on this side. Yep. Okay, now with this, we'll go ahead and um, kind of have this line going out. Alright, and then this one, we'll kind of start this skull here. One thing about digital art is you can kind of just like copy and paste that thing over there, just kind of cut it out. But we just gonna go and keep freehand in this. It's good to get the practice in. Look back on this, you know, and I'm like all super savage. Actually, never really had this little tablet for a bit, but I never really kind of gave myself a chance to really just kind of sit down with it and draw out. So this will be fun. Figure just kind of stream all my my games and my computer's in the shop and I can't actually play the game. Killing me, but it's all good. Okay, here this kind of has like a little bit of a bridge. Again, these are going to be goat skulls, I think, or something like that. Cool. Okay, again, just light lines. I don't want to get too heavy in this. Moving down here, let me see if I have some other kind of. Yeah, so it looks like. Okay. So for this actually looks like it's a chain. So I did not know that. I'm looking at some. Oh, and then, you know, one thing we got to take into account of is these. It's almost like little teeth here. Okay, and then looks like this is going to be actually a little. Looks like it's going to be a skull. So a little. I'm going to work on this next. Okay. Oh, you know what's cool? I just noticed that this guy's this thing around this guy is actually like a snake. It's like a little undead snake. So I think one thing we'll do is actually we will go ahead and just zoom out of this real quick. Yeah, we'll just zoom out. Actually, I wanna make I just want to make room for this sick helmet. You know, it's part of the. It's really what makes the wizard solid. So that's another thing about this digital art, right? Is you can kind of just move stuff like this. This will be good too, because this will give me more room to kind of include his staff. So I'll kind of center him off a little bit more as well too. Cool. Then we can kind of go back and get back into the zoom. Control deselect or what? Huh. Let's see, for some reason it's got this like magic wand thing going on. What is it? Select is deselect. Control D. Remember that, folks. That's one thing about, you know, Photoshop. This is like Photoshop Lite, but, you know, just getting these keystrokes in, pretty important. Okay, so we can kind of bring this up again here a little higher. And yeah, so let's go ahead and kind of just finish out this hat. We got the space for it now. I mean, shoot, I might even need a little bit more space. This guy has got a long hat. Okay. And this thing actually turns into, which is kind of neat. Actually, this guy's got a long hat, so we might need to pull him down even more. But he does have, yeah, we're gonna have to pull him down a little bit more. Oops. Just make sure that this is all selected here. Just pull this guy down a little bit more. Maybe we can even just kind of drop him this low. We can maybe mess around with some background. Shift D to deselect, right? Select. Control D. Remember that for next time, boys and viewers. Okay. Let's get up here. All right, I feel like we got some good space for the hat now. Now let's kind of get into this hat. So this thing does kind of come out a little bit. And this does have like a undead, it's an undead snake. So let's see, it's kind of like a snake skull. So let's maybe move this up here. And then let's do this. It's kind of got something like this going on. It's got kind of like its jaws. Now snake jaws aren't really you know, they're detachable, the mandible here. So this doesn't have a connected jaw. This is kind of just gonna be like this. And this is gonna kind of work with this perspective a little bit more, you know. And then let's see here. Okay. So I almost feel like I changed colors or something almost. I want to get this a little bit lighter. I don't know why that got so dark. It looks like, yeah, this gray is fine. It was just a little bit too dark here. Cool. So let's kind of just put the snakes. Snake nostrils. Got the fangs going on. Then from here, it's kind of got that flat nose. And kind of the eyeball there. Again, just, you know, getting lines on paper. This can all be cleaned up after the fact. We got layers to work on. So yeah, this just mandible on this side is definitely jacked up, but again, we are not going to get too concerned with that. So this head kind of comes down. The cool thing is this neck over here. He's the top of the helm, and what we could do is kind of just fill this in here. He's the top of the helm, or the wizard hat, and then he's kind of these lines here. I thought these were just lines, but these are actually his neck bones. Kind of cool. So we can kind of just start building that out a little bit, you know. Again, just getting lines down. This is really this is more so of like just a warm up for me. I haven't really drawn in a long time, so it's fun though. Kind of cool to get back into it. Just kind of get this down here. Okay. Kind of got these little vertebrae. Almost looks like they kind of come out and they spike a little bit too. Just kind of neat. And then, you know, one thing I like to do is just to kind of make a little bit of a, like make it pop a little bit more, is to have some of this even vertebrae just kind of end up at the edge of his helmet. It looks like it's wrapping around a little bit more than just being flush with what you see. And I know I mentioned that we're just kind of getting lines down, but for this I'll just kind of clean this up a little bit more here, just to get this view a little bit better. Something like that, right? Cool. Yeah. Alright. So this was my first stream on YouTube. Kind of neat. Probably streaming on Twitch with the gameplay, but I think I just might go all in on this. Go all in on this YouTube thing all these kids are talking about. Yeah, well, no. This will definitely be, so we actually have 1, 2, probably like another, and he does have that band here I was talking about. This is actually another snake vertebrae. So we'll kind of just get that, again, kind of giving it that little 3D feel. This rests a little bit flatter on his brim, kind of where the brim of the hat starts. The wizard hat. So we'll just kind of go ahead and do that. And then from here, we'll just kind of put some lines as far as where those vertebrae might rest. We'll come back after when we get into our I guess you'd call it your ink layer. So we're kind of building this out a little bit more. I think even for something like this, we may have wanted to even just move this. Move this a little bit higher, and it does kind of have this other bend to it, right? It's kind of got this more like a wrap around. So we can do. We'll just go ahead and erase this one. What you could do is, kind of cut that out and then move it down, but meh, we're not that into it right now. Not into it that much. Okay, so this kind of then, you can see how this kind of tail wraps around the hat. Okay. Oh yeah, it is funky. It's actually changing my brush down here. I don't know what I'm pressing. I think it might be the pressure that I'm putting on the pen. I don't know. Okay, we'll just get some vertebrae in there. Then let's see, we got. So the thing is, I wanted to leave room for this one because this one kind of leads into. This is kind of the final one. This one's actually looks like it's a little bit thicker. This kind of leads into what we're talking about here. Cool. And just for kind of visual pleasing, we can kind of just use these, not so that they're all the same. But I think this is going to be pretty good for his helm. It's a little wizard hat for now. Cool, yeah, a lot more detail in this new photo I'm looking at. I mean, he's even got some things we can keep in mind. It's kind of even just like his hat's all kind of jacked up a little bit. Not. He's been in battles. He's been alive for years. This guy, Heinrich Kemmler. Okay, so I think that'll do it for that. We won't get too into it. Got some other parts to take care of. Okay, so moving down here. That's not looking too shabby. That's not looking too shabby. Okay, cool. So this is a little skull that he has on him with a pretty big forehead on this, and kind of just I know like it kind of probably comes down like this. I don't know if maybe something like this. Okay, and then we'll put those eyes here for the skull. Okay. It's almost like just a small little skull there, and then what we got actually is this is going to be fabric. So this is going to be fabric that pulls into here. So we can kind of just do like, a little bit of that, just fabric. And then here, kind of take this fabric in. And then we can actually have this kind of start out a little bit more like this too. This is kind of just black in this photo, so don't really have to do too much detail here, but this is kind of just to show that it's taut. It's getting pulled in to this skull here. And then I don't know, I can't really tell from this picture if there's kind of like teeth here or not, but we're just going to put some placeholder teeth just in case. And what I do see actually is a ring that comes out from here. So we will go ahead and just kind of make this ring. Again, I'm gonna make this a little bit straighter once I think I need to calibrate this this tablet, but it does have like a little ring coming out. Okay, and to that ring attaches the chain. So let's see here. This is going to be basically this. Then you'll have one link like that. You'll have the other like this. Then we can kind of just do this for now. We don't have to get way too much into this, just as long as we know. Oops. We know it'll be a chain. We can actually just kind of start pulling this out a little bit more now. And this connects to this cat's teeth here. So where this is the connector part. So bump, bump. Probably when we go through this for the ink part, we'll get a little bit more detail there, of course. Okay. And this one actually, if this is connecting to this thing's teeth, it's probably going to come up maybe even closer like this. So this might be our chain line actually. And for this, we're just going to go ahead and kind of speed draw this part. Kind of erase this for a second here. Okay. Let's see here now. I think one thing we can kind of get back to this part here. Just is, his chest. This is kind of going to be his chest line here. Cool. And then actually this guy's got some funky stuff going on here. So this is, I think, where that skin starts. He's got some like kind of like this has some stuff like this. He's got like human flesh right now. He nasty. So there's this kind of like up here. Just a lot of symmetry. This will definitely get fleshed out. Oh my gosh, fleshed out a little bit later. Jeepers. But it looks like this is kind of where this starts, and it's got some almost like bands here, and then this is where it opens up into this section that is going to be a circle. So leave it even higher than I thought it was originally going to be. So with this, there's actually going to be a pretty large circle here, and then there's going to be these skulls, and it looks like these skulls aren't really symmetrical on there, so we'll just kind of start. I mean, this will have to be a little bit rounder for sure, but we'll go ahead and kind of just put some placeholders in there. And this looks like, let's see if this goes all the way around. Yeah, this goes all the way around for sure. Jumping back to my other little reference part. These will need to be a little bit more circled out. Yeah, and actually this is where that skin starts. So this looks like, oh, and let me see. It almost looks like yeah, I gotta kind of get another look see at how all this skin works out. But I think this is gonna be fine for this phase at least. Okay, and then let's see here. Other than that, he's kind of got, then he's kind of got this patchwork thing going on with like, this is where all the skin's stitched together. He nasty like that. Then this is going to be a different color here. This is going to be like that flesh color, that browned out flesh. We'll just kind of put some, oh, look at that. It's actually human. It's actually faces. So he does have one here. Since I'm not going to be able to get his full body, I will just start to kind of just make this placeholder here. This is like some homie's face though, I'm seeing. So maybe we can kind of just put a little reference there to it. He's got, stitched on. this. Again, this is going to just be something of a work in progress, but for this actually has an entire circle around it. We need to make sure that we incorporate. This is what kind of separates the two. This kind of comes around like this. Oof, rough, rough. Okay, and then in this photo, it actually looks like this connects off of a. Yeah, I'll have to kind of get a little bit clearer of a reference, but it almost looks like this connects to the belt. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and actually start working on his staff a little bit now. What's a wizard without a staff, right? I think for this round we'll do a little bit of a. Yeah, see, so you can kind of see it's turning out a little bit. All right, let's get in on this staff. So this is kind of a cool looking thing. You know, actually just kind of looking at this here, we'll probably want this to kind of come out a little bit thinner, right? It's more tall than it is fat, but this is fine. This is something that can easily change. This is the whole point of this part of the art. Cool. So we kind of got that rocking. That's looking decent. Looking a little thin there. Okay, let's go ahead and get started on this staff. So the staff's actually pretty tall and it's not so straight. So it might be a little. I can't really zoom in too much, but maybe what we can do is do this. Okay, and this skull probably goes up to. Yeah, it looks like in this piece when he's holding it, kind of does go to like the top of his hat. So maybe this is kind of where we start this out. And you know, this thing does kind of goes out here, and then it does kind of bend back in. Not that much, but you know, it does got kind of a little bend in it. And this is something that, man, these straight lines are going to be the end of me though. Okay, and then it does kind of come back in a little bit more here. This is good, good. Oh, I don't know what happened, but this is right and kind of smooth now. Okay, and for this, okay, so this is actually going to be another bird skull. Who would have thought? So kind of just start with the top of the skull there. Kind of bring this down. We should make this, it's definitely a focal point, so we might have to just make this pretty large, pretty eye-catching. Okay, and we'll basically, you know, we won't really see this side of the eye, but this is going to be the beak. This thing kind of just comes out to a beak like that. And kind of comes up. And then it's kind of just where it connects. We can just kind of connect it to the skull here. It's got an eye. You know, of course. It's a skull. And then looks like it's got kind of like these things going on. A little bit like that. Kind of a little bit like that. Okay. This almost looks like it's got a little paint on this too, almost like something like this, like it comes down and then up a little bit. These little details like this really help kind of give it shape too. Okay. Good here. All right. That's gonna be good. And then this thing has like some bat wings sticking out of it too, bud. Oh, here's actually a pretty good. Let me see. I don't want this to open up. Yeah, this is a good look here. Oh, you know what? So he actually does have a sword in his hand. I'm seeing. Oh, so I think I actually have his holds his staff in his left, and he's got a sword in his right. So we might need to fix that in post-production. But he does have what I'm seeing here in this art is he's got kind of this like cloth kind of going over here, you know, making this a little round just to give it that look. And this looks like, yeah, looks like he's got little almost like jewels or something on there. This looks like it's kind of just like purple. My favorite. Just kind of like purple wrap, right? So he's got a couple little jingles on there. Little accents. And this actually goes all the way down to where he's holding this thing. So let's actually zoom out. I want to make sure that this is kind of tracking a little bit right. Yeah, so maybe might have to just kind of we'll move this stuff around after. It was just kind of again the benefit of digital art. Cool. Okay. Then I mean with this we might even want to make this skull even a little bit bigger, right? Just it's a pretty big focal point. Bring this around, kind of just expand this out, make this longer. Kind of just make sure to get that eye in there, that other eye socket that we don't really see. Okay, then this, we'll go ahead and get these bat wings rocking. So with this, how do these look? So they kind of come to a point, and then they come to a point like that. And they kind of come down. A little bit more of a round on this down though. They kind of come down like this. Okay. And then this is where it has a little peak here. And then a much longer one coming in like this. And this actually is going to then be yeah, we're gonna have to kind of finagle this a little bit more. Maybe this is just smaller. But again, I've said this before, just getting lines down. We'll definitely be going through this. Basically what we'll do is we'll create a new layer that will overlay on top of this bad boy. And that's what we'll use. So I think for this, what we'll want to do also is, you know, kind of got to make sure that you're keeping it so it looks like it's, you know, almost like foreshortened a little bit. Something like that. Something like that. I think this is a good area right here to kind of just chill on. See, then what we can do, we can take this, and then we can kind of just, oh, this is not what I wanted. Okay, we can take, one sec. Kind of just wanted to, let me see, maybe I have to do it. Oh boy, alright, we'll just do it like this then. See, but with that, then we can kind of switch to this. Then we can really just move this thing down a little bit lower. This is already looking a little bit more, you know, this is kind of providing some nice kind of angling too. I like this. So, you know, one thing we could do too is just copy and paste this. So we will control D to deselect. And we could just kind of copy and paste this to make it its own layer so that we can just always move it because we know this is probably going to be a problem area for us. Yeah, I think this Batwing can definitely use a little bit of work here. Maybe just a little bit more of a peak there to really distinguish it as a Batwing. But okay, we'll get there. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. We'll kind of got about 5 minutes left. I think I'm just going to kind of do this in hour increments at a time. I think that's a nice, you know, watch time. Not make these too long. Also kind of spread this out a little bit more. But with this, we can kind of, let's just say if this is where the staff was to come down, then start working on his hands a little bit more. So again, let's just kind of just put in lines down. Take a minute to see. I can already start seeing where I need to clean up a little bit. It's kind of just, you know, pops out all this area up here. Kind of, actually, I just kind of want to do that right now. Just it's triggering me. See, just can kind of then start, before we get into that inking phase, just really start defining out what to keep and what not. Easier to just get things down. Yeah, see? Well, something like that. Kind of close these in a little bit more. Cool. I think that'll be fine. You know, we'll straighten this line out too when we get to that section of it. But, okay, let's kind of just wrap up getting maybe some of his arm in there. Let's do this. I'm just kind of jumping back to my concept art, or my reference material. Yeah, so okay, so this is then going to be, you know, his knuckles. The hands, man, the hands. We'll see what we can do with that, but, you know, hands are pretty difficult. So this guy's kind of gripping this. We won't get too much into his hand. And it looks like it's kind of, oh man, so let's do this. Let's then say that this other hand, I mean, you know, this is where it's going to take some additional love, you know. And then this is kind of, it's going to be gripped a little bit more, so these kind of fingers actually kind of come up a little bit. But we'll get there. You know, this is just kind of getting started. Kind of just getting some lines down, you know. So from here, I know that this is going to be kind of his sleeve. So we can kind of just build his sleeve out like this, knowing that. And then looks like this cat almost has a cape almost in this. I wonder. Oh yeah, he might have a cape. He might have a cape. Alright, that's cool with me. I mean, that can kind of be his cape line here. We definitely need to get his, then what I can do is kind of just, you know, put a little creases like that just to show kind of the break in his arm a little bit more. And then what I'll do is I'll pull, before we piece out, I've got maybe about maybe like 2 or 3 minutes left, I'll pull over this concept art, show you what I was working with here so y'all can see it. Kind of just darken this out. This is just going to be the shadow of his, of it. Kind of just know that this is going to be, actually looks like this type of material goes all the way down to the end. So this is all going to just be purple. And he's got some little silver on here, looks like. Okay. I'm going to be here like this. This can kind of come up. This is going to be completing his sleeve. And then we will, let's feel like, maybe try to include his sword somewhere, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. Maybe not. I mean, maybe he's just chilling without it for a second. So this will actually be the crease in here. I kind of did that wrong. And kind of get this going here. So this will be his elbow more so. All right, y'all, we are hitting that hour mark. I think this was good start. We'll go ahead and get this finished up. And yeah, I think this is where we'll stop for the day. All right. I don't really have a schedule for this, but I don't know. I'm kind of vibing on this, so might be back. I promise I'll stop drawing soon. Might be back here sooner than you know it, but I think this is going to be a good stopping spot for the first round. We'll go ahead and just kind of give this a little zoom out. Oops, a zoom in, if anything. Cool. Alright, y'all. So yeah, here's what we're working with. Got his little snick going. Got a lot of the rough outline. Kind of just building this out still. I'll try to get some more reference material out a little bit sooner, but I don't know, it's not too bad. Not too bad. Alright, well, thanks for watching Let's Draw Warhammer 3 Total War, or Warhammer 3 Total War. Um, I'll catch you all next time. Thanks for watching. And yeah, smash that subscribe button. Come back for more. Alright, peace.